Welcome inside Studio AP. It's a Tuesday edition of Morning Drive. Damon Hack alongside an LPGA veteran, Paige McKenzie, a PGA Tour winner with a very interesting nickname in Robert Cameron. Good morning, guys. We got a big show. We got major champs joining us. We've got a U.S. Solheim Cup captain announcement. I'm very excited.
I'm excited, and you cannot leave that tease without revealing what's the nickname,
I really had
Robert.
hoped it didn't come up. Well, we were because of my hair, the moniker of Little Skunk has been going around the Bay Hill locker room a little bit.
Yeah,
Little Skunk, they say.
Do you like the nickname?
It's better than the old ones. I'm not telling you what they are.
That's a team. We shouldn't go
You got
there.
a good head of hair, Robert. That is
What are you most looking forward to? This is going to be a big show.
The big Solheim Cup announcement.
Yeah.
I think a long-awaited. We know that Katrina Matthew will be captaining the European team. We're finding out today who will be captaining the U.S. team after 2 consecutive wins. They've got a lot on their shoulders, whoever this new captain is.
Absolutely. Looking forward to that announcement in the second hour. Right now, let's say good morning to Lauren Thompson. How are you?
Good morning, Damon. Feeling good. Glad to be here in Studio AP. Glad to have all of you with us and our crew in Studio AP, including Little Skunk. You should have never told us that. We're going to be using that way too much as ammo. But moving on into further in the show, we are now just 2 days away from the ever-exciting Waste Management Phoenix Open, now in its 80th year, featuring literally the loudest hole in golf. But it takes a lot of work to get that par 3 16th on the stadium course at TPC Scottsdale ready for that full-fledged party scene. Room for more than 16,000 spectators in this space alone, and it can be a little unnerving for the players who don't own it, trying to get that little white golf ball to the hole. So speaking of golf balls, Wesley Bryan, a PGA Tour winner, he's going to try and double up on those titles with a Taco Bell logo on his golf ball. And if you followed his wins, starting with the ones on the web.com tour, you know that's where he heads to for his victory dinner. So the sponsorship, it was just all too suitable. Hashtag Live Moss. I like this, Damon. A cool way to customize.
I like that too, LT. Would you guys have a logoed golf ball? What would yours be if you chose one?
If we're going strictly fast food, Chick-fil-A is my guilty pleasure.
Chicken nuggets, perhaps?
Oh no, I just do straight number one.
Straight number one.
Just normal sandwich. The pickles. The pickles get me.
I love the
Pickles. How about you, Dameron?
If we're going fast food, I mean, I guess a skunk now would be if we're going fast food, we got to go Five Guys. I mean, that might be my like final meal if I was on death row. Might be a Five Guys with that big basket or that big bag of fries.
All right, I'm going In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out Burger. Yeah. 2
West
patties,
Coast.
lots of cheese. West Coast.
West
It's all
Coast,
good. All right, speaking of the West Coast, Waste Management, Phoenix Open. What's happening now? Hideki Matsuyama, the 2-time defending champion of this event. So check this out. 2016, it was a 4-hole playoff victory over Ricky Fowler. And then last year, a 4-hole playoff victory over one Webb Simpson. And I'll tell you what, the 2018 edition boasts a wonderful field. 4 of the top 5 players in the world. The 3-time major champ Jordan Spieth, the player of the year Justin Thomas, the rookie of the year Xander Schauffele, ASU alums John Rahm and Phil Mickelson. You see Alex Norton off that runner-up finish yesterday in La Jolla. Now the 16th hole back in the frame. Historically, we've seen some crazy things, some beers, some insults, and Tiger Woods, Page, 1997 with one of the greatest tee shots we've ever seen.
Back when it was stadium golf on the grass, not with the actual built-up stadiums. And who doesn't remember this? I'm not sure whether he's skinnier or the shirts are just bigger.
Both.
This was the Arsenio Hall, raise the roof, woo, woo, woo era. You remember that, Dameron?
Oh yeah, Arsenio.
Lived
sure.
that era.
Dog pound. Woo, woo.
Absolutely.
Sure.
All right, 2011, Robert. This is Jared Lyle, his tee shot on 16, and this is a reaction for the ages.
Well, it's January for Jared, so we got to show this shot for sure. In his all green outfit.
Best reaction.
The best.
Oh, yes. He said, give me more. Give me more. Love it. Great seeing that, and that PGA Tour-led initiative, very positive for the young man dealing with leukemia. This is James Hahn, Page 2013, putting for birdie, and this was kind of a coming out moment for James Hahn.
Oh yeah, we got to see who he is off the golf course because he has some moves. This is Gangnam Style, for all of you that don't remember that very short-lived Korean pop song.
He might as well be doing the Macarena. And it came and went quickly, didn't it?
I'll tell you what, he played well the whole week, finished tied for 16th at 14 under par. Robert Dameron, this is Francesco Molinari, staring it up and down.
Yeah, Molinari was paired with Tiger last week on Sunday and did the same thing Tiger did on 16.
Look at that, saying, give me more.
And anybody that's not been out here, you cannot fully appreciate the chaos until you see moments like this.
This is fantastic.
Who's going to clean that up?
Not me.
Not you. All right. Hideki Matsuyama now, 2017 page. This tee shot and usually up and down. You got to look at the eyes. They're behind those sunglasses.
The ultimate irony is the volunteers on this hole that actually hold up the quiet signs.
Why?
Why?
Pointless. Yeah, just let it go.
Go on to make that putt, and then guess what? He'd also go on to win the golf tournament. Now, John Rahm, 16th hole, wearing the number 42 Rambo ASU jersey.
That takes a lot of confidence to put that on and then hit the shot, because you stand up in front of everybody, you put your ASU jersey on, and you shank it in the gallery.
Yes.
You know, you're going to look like a donkey. Not John Rahm.
Not a good look. And not the weekend that John Rahm wanted at Torrey Pines, rounds of 75, 77. But look at the rise since that T5 as an amateur at the Phoenix Open way back in 2015. He's continued to climb in the rankings. The teed second at the RBC Canadian Open, the Women's, the Farmers Insurance Open, that's got him into the top 50. Currently sits at number 2 in the world. He's someone who's feisty, guys. He's impatient. He has a lot of expectations. I guess my question is, he had a chance to become the number 1 player in the world this week. Didn't happen. Didn't play well on the weekend. Bogeyed 4 of his first 6 holes on Sunday en route to shooting that 77. How do you think he's going to deal with expectations going forward?
I have a feeling his expectations are higher than any expectations that we put on him. This is a player that's known success, so the only thing that he expects of himself is more success. And I think a player like that is comfortable in this type of position. I don't think it makes him uncomfortable that people are talking about potentially becoming number 1 in the world. I think it fuels him. I think it only feeds the confidence that he already has.
I fully agree with you, and the only thing I think is maybe he wanted it a little too badly last week. He's in and around the lead all day Friday at San Diego last week at Torrey Pines, and then Saturday late faded and a bad Sunday. Maybe he wanted it a little too bad, but the one thing we don't have to question is the ability he's got, his game. You know, he may grow. His game is not going to get much better, but his attitude may just keep growing and maturing, and the sky's the limit. He's going to be number 1 in the world.
He runs hot. Can he continue to run hot into his late 20s and into his 30s, or does he will he temper that in time with maturity and age?
There's a chance that and likely he will. Does he have to? Absolutely not.
Okay.
I mean, this is who he is. This is what has made him successful. There's no point in trying to change the formula. I think over time it may evolve, but I don't think he's going to try to change it.
The only thing is it may not hurt his game being fiery like that. The persona, you know, the guy that the people bring their kids to see. You don't want to. You may have to tone it down for that. But as far as his game goes, you're right. He probably feeds off being fiery more than anybody else.
Try to bounce back in a place in a venue he knows very, very well. John Rahm is John Rahm. Lauren Thompson is Lauren Thompson, as we send it back to her.
I like that, Damon. Okay, back to another topic still grabbing attention from Sunday at the Farmers Insurance Open. JB Holmes playing in co-leader Alex Noren's group. JB 2 shots off the pace, and his second shot on the final hole, 230-yard approach, taking 4 minutes and 10 seconds while debating between clubs before eventually making his move, ultimately laying up and pulling a shot into the left rough. So the responses, they're still coming in on social media. Not everyone blaming him. This from Bud Colley said, I've seen some stuff on Twitter about pace of play. When it's gusting 25, the pins are tucked, and it's hard to hold those greens with wedges, and the greens are POA, where you mark from 2 feet every time. It's going to take a second. Ken Duke, though. Yeah, it was his birthday yesterday, so happy birthday to him, but not so happy when coming to these responses, saying, I guess rules only apply for some players. That was ridiculous how long it took him to play that shot. The rules officials, they need to change their policy on slow play and be more active on this, and you won't have these 5.5 to 6 hour rounds. Also, this from Major Champion and Steve Elkington saying it's not the tour player's job to yell at other players in the locker room. It's the PGA Tour's job. So more responses, no doubt about it, still coming in on social media as Damon Hack has more.
Appreciate that, LT. Joined by the insider, Tim Rosenfort. Clearly, this is a story that has legs. Yes. It's continuing to be talked about around the world of golf. You spoke to JB Holmes. What was his temperament? What did he tell you?
A couple of bullet points here, Damon. Sorry about my voice. I seem to lose it in the studio. He didn't realize how long he was taking. He said if it bothered Alex, he could have said something and he could have hit the shot while he was trying to figure out what to do. If I messed him up, I apologize, trying to hit the best shot I could to win the golf tournament. He still made a good swing. And that was the shot that went down through the into the CBS Tower with that 3-wood. what JB was stuck between was yardage and wind. It was 235 to carry, 240 to the flag. And what threw him off a little bit was, his drive there usually goes about 330 yards. With that wind blowing hard the way it did, it only went about 294. So he knew he was in a bad spot. He didn't like the 5-wood anyway. It was a club he wanted to throw in a garbage can, but he knew it was the right yardage. And the interesting thing is there was no PGA Tour official to go up and say, hey, you got to play in this situation.
Right.
Talked to Ryan Palmer, who hit his wedge shot and walked up to it. Said that there was a lot of giggling. You could hear it in the gallery. But it didn't really put him off because he had already played his 2 shots. He was going to lay up anyway. And the bigger thing for JB is sort of he's always been incriminated as a guy who's a slow player, and he feels like that was history. He used to be slow. I'm not slow anymore. I don't get timed anymore. Last hole with a chance to win in a playoff's a different situation. Every week people take longer on that shot. If I was indecisive there and took longer than I should have, and some people said Alex should have won, then I wasn't trying to mess Alex up. It wasn't gamesmanship. In his mind, he's over the slow play reputation, but obviously this is gonna put it on the front burner for him.
He's taking a lot of heat from his peers, from people he will see every week on the PGA Tour. What's his reaction? Does he feel sad? Is he guilty? Does he feel sorry?
He feels sorry that if he cost Alex a chance to win the golf tournament, so he's apologizing for that. But otherwise, he feels like, as I said, that again, players don't always wait 4 minutes and change to hit a shot. But the big picture for them was they were in the last group. They were held up most of the day anyway. They were never put on the clock, and the PGA Tour didn't have a comment about this, which was surprising to me. We reached out to him because, if this is an issue, somebody should have stepped into the scene and said, you got to play here. So that's how it's all unwound over the last 24 to 48 hours, and it's going to have more legs as well. And I'm anxious to hear what the tour does have to say when we can officially pin him down for something.
Can't recall a time when a player has taken so much heat from his peers. What else is happening now? How about Hao Tong Lee from China? Another big story from the weekend, Rosie. Able to go toe-to-toe with the 4-time major champion Rory McIlroy and win the Omega Dubai Desert Classic. Birdies on 17, birdies on 18, able to get it done. But he's a young man that we don't know a lot about in the United States. What can you tell us?
This is a name and a player we should start to know and familiarize ourselves with, because there's a track record there that started in a sense in China, just starting and beginning, but a kid who goes out last year in the Open Championship and shoots 63 with birdies on his last 4 holes, playing with Ernie Els. I mean, that's the type of stuff that shows you what type of gravitas you had. Through that, he qualified for the Masters tournament this year. He's a kid who came over and played the web.com for 2015 and kept his card. He was mentored by an Australian, Ray Bofels, and Laurie Livesey, who was a PGA Tour media consultant working on PGA Tour China. And when they got him, he was pretty raw as it relates to culture and changes and all those other things. But the golf has been there for most of his life. And, second in Turkey, 4th in Ned Bank. He wins the Open. He wins a European Tour event when he's just a teenager.
Yep.
And to see him step up and birdie 4 of the last 6 against McIlroy, it was like right back at Birkdale when he birdied the last 4 to come in to shoot 63, which earlier that day Brandon Gray shot to 62. So course conditions were easy, but still in all, it was the Open. You're in a group with Ernie, and as Ernie said, and he gained a lot of respect from Ernie, he never backed down on any of those shots coming in.
Showing some big-time toughness from one winner to another. Brittany Lincecum, she was literally chasing the sunset in the Bahamas, an odd scene. What did she tell you about what transpired on Paradise Island?
It's funny, isn't it, how Day and Noren were hitting great shots in the dark, and she did the same thing too. She birdied 17, which gave her a cushion. She had no leaderboards to look at. She didn't know if she was competing against the women in her group, or if somebody had posted something early. So she was jacked up coming down 18. It's downwind. She hits it like 15 yards further than she wanted to. If the ball's in the divot, as she said, it was one of the best pitch shots she ever hit in her life. How she envisioned it. So many things could have gone wrong. It was dark. It was hard to see. Couldn't have been more stressful. And then she gets up there, and after getting a putting tip from her caddy, Missy Peterson, not to soul the putter, she knocks that putt in the hole. So for her 8th career victory, it was drama in the dark, and it's amazing how, whether it was in California or in the Bahamas, players stepped up and weren't affected by the darkness. As a matter of fact, they played some of their best golf in the week when they couldn't see.
You don't think, you just react and play and hit the shot at hand. Great stuff from Rosie. We're going to actually speak to Brittany Lincecum in just a little bit. Right now, we send it over to Lauren Thompson and Matt Janella. What's up, guys?
Yeah, glad to have our travel insider joining me today. Matt, ready to walk our viewers through what's coming up?
Yeah, let's go.
Perfect. Well, get this. We're not just having one. We're doubling up on having two-time major champions joining us today. Christy Kerr. She's going to weigh in on today's big Solheim Cup announcement and answer a burning question we have on her career with the event. Plus, Brittany Lincecum, we were just talking about her, chiming in on the news and reliving her win in the dark from the Bahamas. Can't wait for that.
Sounds good. If you're in the dark on where to play in the Scottsdale area, coming up on today's show, my 5 in the most western town. And I play one with play one of my top 5 with the architect.
Interesting to see how that goes. But back to the breaking news that will happen right here on the show. Who is going to lead the red, white, and blue in their title defense? It's going to be a battle for the Americans if they want to retain the Solheim Cup at Glen Eagles. So it's going to be a good fit because it's got to be. That's a huge decision.
Got to be a good fit. And you know what, LT? They fit more than 15,000 fans around TPC Scottsdale's 16th hole. Today, I'll give a brief history of stadium golf, and our players chime in on whether the raucous atmosphere is good for the game.
I've been to the course, never seen it like this before, though. Always covering it in Studio AP. What a scene it is.
Unbelievable.
So cool. Morning Drive back in just a bit.
I want to be there. I want to be there.